What is up, guys? It is Joe here from JoeTalksWrestling, and today I am bringing you my Extreme Rules 2018 predictions video. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first matchup of Extreme Rules, guys, is on the Extreme Rules kickoff show. This was a newly announced match last night before Smackdown Live started, and it is the New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods versus Sanity, Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Killian Dane, and this is a tables match. This doesn't mean too much. These teams have been a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, I believe, or it was not this week, last week, that Sanity actually attacked the New Day, and then this week they also attacked the New Day again, and then obviously there was the tag team match, the 10-man tag this week on SmackDown, which the New Day's team with Kane and Daniel Bryan won. And yeah, so I believe that in this tables match, Sanity are indeed going to win because they're a newly called up team, although they haven't been doing anything on SmackDown recently, and they need that win. So that's the first matchup. Okay, so this next matchup, guys, is between Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. I do believe that Finn Balor is going to be coming out into his normal attire, not as the Demon, as there is no reason for the Demon to be involved in this matchup. And yeah, this is sort of a throwaway match. Balor and Corbin have been feuding for a few weeks now. And yeah, the one thing I can take away from this feud, the only thing I've actually liked, is when everyone, the entire Raw roster, was trying to split up Reigns and Lashley this week on Raw. Balor actually attacked Corbin, which was quite funny. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing really I take away from this feud, and I don't really care. However, I believe that Finn Balor needs the win, as he just needs a win. He hasn't done anything recently, and he deserves to have the victory more than Baron Corbin does. So that is that matchup. So this next matchup is for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and it is the B Team versus the Deleters of World. Now, what I think is going to happen here, guys, is, right, so we've got to take some inside news and inside look at this. So recently Bray Wyatt had a car accident, and it's rumoured that he was the one that actually caused the head-on collision, which also indicates me to believe that maybe WWE are going to punish him for reckless driving, I guess you could say, and put the tag team titles on the B team and make Bray Wyatt lose. Also, however, is the other option. The B team have been constantly racking up the victories against Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt in singles action. It's mainly just been Matt Hardy they've been beating, however, and that also leads me to believe, if by WWE logic, that if someone is winning constantly before the pay-per-view, their match at the pay-per-view they're going to lose. So this one could go two ways, but I am betting my money on the B team, as I don't think the Deleters of World gimmick has really worked out very well, and I think they're becoming a bit stale on Monday nights. Okay, so next up, guys, is two matches that I really don't care about, and these are the women's title matches. Now, I love the women's wrestling, I think it's great. However, these two feuds, the Raw one I hate the most. The SmackDown one isn't too bad, but you know, I'm just not very invested in it. So first up is the Raw Women's title match between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. It's an Extreme Rules match. I'm obviously excited to see what the women can do in the Extreme Rules match. Obviously Nia Jax, I feel like she could throw Alexa Bliss about, and you know, Alexa could take some pretty nasty bumps that would look pretty extreme. However, storyline-wise, I don't care. I've got Alexa Bliss down to retain, but honestly, don't care either way. And then the SmackDown Women's Championship match is obviously Carmella versus Asuka, with James Ellsworth in a shark cage, and I've got Asuka down to win. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, guys, so the next matchup is the steel cage match between the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, taking on Kevin Owens. I do believe there is multiple ways this could go. Obviously, this feud has consisted of Braun Strowman absolutely battering Kevin Owens, and Braun is a huge deal. Obviously, now he's Mr. Money in the Bank as well. I do believe WWE could go about this two separate ways. Firstly, they could make Strowman look very strong and just utterly destroy Kevin Owens in this cage match. And yeah, put him over, obviously, because he is Money in the Bank, make him look even stronger. However, the way I would believe it should be is that Kevin Owens should win, and not on his own regard. What I believe is going to happen is a similar Greatest Royal Rumble spot, maybe. It's more actually like what happened with Big Show and Stone Cold Steve Austin when Big Show debuted back in the Attitude Era. and I believe Braun Strowman is going to throw KO at the wall of the steel cage. It's going to break, and KO is going to land on the floor and win accidentally. So that's what I think is going to happen. What's the next match? Okay, so next up, guys, is actually one of the first matches that was announced for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view a couple of weeks back. As SmackDown General Manager Paige would call it, this match is for the Smack Team Tag Team Championships. I'm kidding, it's the SmackDown Tag Title match between Team Hell No and the Bludgeon Brothers. What I actually think is going to happen here is you've got to look into it at different perspectives once again. Daniel Bryan hasn't renewed his WWE contract, which expires soon, and Kane is now the mayor of Knoxville County, I believe. So they're both on limited schedules. If Bryan has renewed and it's just not been leaked, then I think that WWE are going to put the SmackDown Tag Team titles on them. However, if not, then I believe the Bludgeon Brothers are going to keep them. I personally would like for Team Hell No to regain the tag team titles, as the Bludgeon Brothers have been very stale for me. In my opinion, when you have a character that doesn't, like characters that don't speak, and you know, they're sort of just there to be intimidating, their title run is going to get very boring very quickly, and unfortunately that is what's happened with the Bludgeon Brothers, in my opinion. So I believe that Kane and Daniel Bryan, Team Hell No, are going to get the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Okay, so next up, guys, is the United States Championship match between the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura. So what I think is going to happen here, guys, is recently the dirt sheets have reported that Jeff Hardy is actually injured. Now, obviously, he doesn't need to take time off, but it's just minor injuries. Apparently, he's got slight nerve damage in his hand, a knee injury, a back injury, all these things I've been hearing about Jeff Hardy recently, and it's not looking very good, in my opinion, for him right now. I feel like Jeff is going to have some Randy Orton time off, I guess you could call it, where he, you know, I think he'll lose to Shinsuke Nakamura at Extreme Rules and then take a couple, like, months off, maybe. We won't see him until around SummerSlam, I guess. And also, the other positive to this, there is a positive to this, is that Shinsuke Nakamura has obviously had shots at the WWE Championship since since WrestleMania 34, and has obviously failed every time. However, I feel if Shinsuke loses this United States Championship match to Jeff Hardy, really there is nothing more that you can do for Nakamura. He has failed every opportunity he has, and it's just going to ruin the character. So I personally feel Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win the United States Championship at Extreme Rules. Okay, so this matchup is probably WWE's biggest match that they've booked to go into Extreme Rules. Of course it is. I mean, it's involving Roman Reigns, and I believe this could potentially be the main event of the pay-per-view. It's Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Now, I don't know, I'm meh about this. So, Roman has not stopped complaining since the Greatest Royal Rumble about everything. The guy will not stop moaning, literally. Whether it's Brock Lesnar not being there, whether it's the Universal title match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where anything Roman has complained about. And Bobby Lashley has just come off of a big return. It was very, very poor. His first obvious major feud was against Sami Zayn, who is now injured, and that was involving, you know, the Bobby's sisters segment and everything. It was just terrible, and that, I think, dented Bobby Lashley a bit. However, now I'm looking forward to this match at Extreme Rules, because I believe Bobby Lashley can have a really good match with Roman Reigns. Although I don't like Roman Reigns, I know he can put on a pretty solid match. And with a veteran like Bobby Lashley, I think these two are going to have quite a war, and they're going to be quite hard hitting. It would have been better if it was actually Extreme Rules, because there is only one Extreme Rules match on the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So yeah, also they should stop with these gimmick pay-per-views. But I'm going off topic. I think Bobby Lashley is going to win, because Roman has more opportunities, and just, you know, he's just going to be like whinging and moaning. And I think ideally, in a perfect world, Lashley should win and Roman should turn heel, and that's exactly what should happen. So I hope Lashley's going to win and Roman's going to turn heel at the end of the match. Okay, so this is the WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Rusev on Rusev Day. Now, I am going into this, I would quite like Rusev to win the WWE Championship, as I think it would just be cool. I would hope it's, not a long title reign, maybe a month, 2 weeks or something. But I think he should at least have one successful title defence. Now, that's on one hand that I believe this. However, on the other hand, I feel like AJ Styles deserves to break Brock Lesnar's title record, and that obviously WWE will apparently want to keep the title on to him until WWE 2K19 comes out, as obviously he's the cover star. So, on one hand, I'm going in with the Jinder Mahal mentality that no one expects Rusev to win, but he might, and I'm not going to be upset if he does. But on the other hand, I feel like it's best for business for AJ to retain and to keep the title until WWE 2K19 at least. Okay, and finally, guys, the match that I believe should be the main event of the pay-per-view. The 30-minute Iron Man match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. I believe these two are going to tear the house down. And my predicted score... this match is hard. Right, I want Seth to win the Intercontinental Championship, as I feel like maybe what they were trying to do here was make Seth lose the title and push him into the Universal title picture and just experiment with Dolph. However, I don't believe Dolph's title reign is nowhere near as good as Seth Rollins' was, and I believe that WWE should put the title back on Rollins, and that's nothing bad on Dolph, that's just, bad booking. And yeah, I believe that if Seth is going to win, I think it's going to be 3-2. But if the other hand, what I would have happen is if Seth's going to lose, I'd have Dolph win, Drew turn on him, and then at the next pay-per-view or whatever, Drew McIntyre takes the Intercontinental Championship for a second time in his career. So I'm predicting Seth, but if Dolph wins, I want Drew to turn on him, and that's how it should be. So that was my prediction. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, be sure to give it a like, comment and subscribe. I've been Joe from Joe Talks Wrestling. You guys have been awesome. I do hope you all enjoy Extreme Rules this Sunday. It should hopefully be a good show. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.